favorite class here and why?
My favorite class here is probably math because it's just a class where everyone's talking and working together. And I think that, at least for me, that's when I do my best work, is being able to bounce ideas off others, hear what they have to say as well as what I have to say. And I think that just brings out the best work in everyone.
My favorite class here is English because I really enjoy the way the Harkness table works in English classrooms and the communication and how everyone gets to say whatever they want to say, really.
This year my favorite class is probably my chemistry class because I think I have an amazing teacher and I'm super excited to have him as a teacher. His name's Mr. Moore. We spend a lot of time in the lab and we learn about something from the textbook, or he'll explain new material to us and then we'll go back to the lab and see it happen in real time. And the classroom is actually divided in a Harkness table half, and then the second half is lab tables. So every classroom has that in the science building, which is the reason why I love science and why I've really enjoyed this year especially.
My favorite class here is probably the English classes, just so the teachers are great and the English department here is very good.
My favorite class at Milton is probably my English class because I really get pushed to learn and delve deep into what ancient texts and the common applications of them mean.
How do you think you balance schoolwork and extracurriculars?
I try to get most of my work done during my frees during the day, and as soon as I get home, I get right to work. But I think that there's a lot of value in cutting out time for yourself to do extracurriculars, and so if you just manage your time well, everything's fine.
Balancing is sometimes tough, but just connecting with your teachers and making sure everything's okay is really important. And if you can't do a assignment on time, just make sure to email your teachers, and I found that really helpful.
I think the most important thing between balancing schoolwork and extracurriculars is planning out your day and knowing what you have to do and when you have to do it by.
I think as a boarder, they try really hard to make sure that you already have a built-in balance with the study halls at night and the already set times for sports practices. So I think the balance isn't that difficult. Obviously, you have to put in a little bit more work on larger assignments, but I still think that the time given to you is enough, and they really try to make that available to you and let you know that if you need more time, you can have it as well.
But I think that most of it is just doing what needs to be done in that time, or what immediately needs to be done. So let's say I have something due for a class, the next day, something like that. That's what I focus on, and then the club stuff can come after. It's usually academics, then sports, and clubs and stuff like that.
What have your classes taught you about yourself as a learner, and how does Milton help facilitate your learning?
Milton has taught me that I'm a really collaborative learner, that I enjoy hearing other people's thoughts and ideas, and then that also allows me to grow my own ideas off of that as well. And I think the Harkness table really helps with that.
I think that I'm a hands-on learner, so I really like to do stuff that will use what we've been taught, because I think that allows me to see what I do and don't know well enough yet. And I think that Milton has taken that into account, and we're always doing stuff in groups or by yourself that I guess you can just always do that, yeah.
They taught me that I'm pretty independent, and I'm pretty much working if not by myself, with my own agenda, if that makes sense. So I know what I want out of my classes and out of my own activities. So I think Milton taught me to take agency in that and to make sure I'm doing what I need kind of as a learner. And
I think that I've learned that I'm a hands-on learner, and that I really love not just listening to lectures, which don't happen at Milton besides class 4 workshop, but when you are actually seeing something happen. So for example, again in the science building, whenever you do chemistry experiments or just labs in general, you actually see what you're learning, and I've found that that's the most effective way for me to learn, and I really enjoy actually seeing it happening rather than listening to information. And Milton offers great opportunities for students to try all sorts of different learning experiences.